everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming back and watching my videos. Those of you who are returning viewers, subscribers. If you are here for the first time, very welcome. I hope you find more content that you like on my channel and that you will consider subscribing. Last week we spoke about baby sets and I showed you the first blanket that I took and I called it Twinkle Twinkle because it's little stars that are twinkling, and we all know that little baby rhyme. And last week we did the border around this, so that was great. But now this week we are making a blanket to match this, because that is what it's all about. Walking into a shop, buying a piece of material that you like, any piece of material that is so soft for baby. Then you go to the yarn shop and you buy yarn that goes with this. You make a set. So this is last week's episode, Twinkle Twinkle. This week we make a little star. This was my attempt with granny squares to make little star. What do you think? Just look at this. So now I can't see you. Yes, so I love this. I love these little white baubles. To me, they just shout baby. And even the small squares around it. I absolutely love it. I love it. And then the big squares, each with just one little round of color and the rest white. I must tell you, after the center piece, I was quite, fed up with white. I couldn't wait to get to this part where there's a bit of color on my hook. But the end result is so worth it. Hey? So this is what we are making today. Baby blanket, little star. Well, I hope that you are going to love this blanket as much as I love it. So the one thing I think I did forget to put in the tutorial is the final size of this blanket. So I will put that in the description. There you go. But it is the same size as the baby blanket, as a receiving blanket. So, but I will put that in the description box below. Please go and look for it if you want it. But there you have it. So let's make this. Let's get going. This is the yarn we're going to use for this project. It is white, wine red, although it looks very cherry red on this camera. It is a deep wine red, and this is not turquoise. It is a very pale duck egg blue. So let's just have a look at the first two yarns. This is Charity double knit pull skein, very popular here in South Africa. It is a go-to yarn for a blanket. 100% acrylic, 4mm hook, 233 meters. Let me just bring it closer. 233 meters, 256 yards for our American friends, on 100 grams ball. So this would be your 3 weight, because it's double knit in the US, and it says duck egg blue. Well, duck egg is a blue color, but this is very pale. It seems to look like turquoise on the screen. And then this is called wine. Where is it? Wine, because it is a very dark red. It is not the orangey red it seems to be on the camera. And all the specs are the same. 233 meters, 256 yards per 100-gram ball, 4mm hook, my favorite, absolute favorite. So those two colors. And would you believe they did not have this in white? So I bought, let me just push that out of the way. I bought Lullaby, and as you can see from the ball band, it is definitely meant for a baby blanket. It is slightly more expensive. It's made by L. It is also double knitting, which is your 3 weight in the US. 300 meters on a 100-gram ball, which is 328 yards for our American friends. 4mm hook, because I am crocheting, and machine washable wool cycle minimum action. And it just says white, as we can see with the naked eye. So this is our beautiful colors. With that, our 4mm, my favorite hook. Yes, this plain hook is my favorite. And because plain hooks are my favorite, I love fancy looking scissors. So pretty looking scissors. There, this is a scissors you're going to need, and a yarn needle. So everything we need for our project. Let's get going. So we're going to start with a slip knot, like that. There we go. And chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains, and connect with the that first V to make a circle there, a loop, just a slip stitch. Now chain 5 again, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm going to make 3 double crochet into this loop that we've created. 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3 double crochet. And I'm working in my straggler end. It's lying here at the back so that I work it in as I go. There we go. 3 double crochet. Like that. Now chain 2, and that will be our next corner. 1 and 2. Turn the work, and I'm going to put 3 double crochet in this loop again to form our second side. 1, 2, and 3. If you've never made a granny square, then I think I'm going slow enough that you will be able to follow this or watch it in slow motion, like that. 1, 2 chains again, and turn the work, and 3 double crochets again in that center. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. There we go. And chain 2, and then turn the work. Now we are where we started nearly. So there we see that 3 double crochet plus 2 served, the 3 served as a double crochet, the 2 was a chain 2. We did 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2 we did. Now we only need 2 double crochets, like this. 1 double crochet and 1 more. Because the 5 we did in the beginning, the 3 will serve, my apologies, there is the top of that double crochet, 1 chain, 2 chains, so I must connect into that chain. Is it focusing? Yes, into that chain. Actually the 3rd chain from the bottom, but if you're not sure where that is, then I do a process of elimination, which is, if that is the top of that, and then that must be my 1st chain, my 2nd chain, and then that must be the 3rd one. And 3 is always the center of 5. There we go. That is our first round completed, and now we have to change color. I leave a straggler end. I just go, now what I do is, I go into the corner and I just make a slip stitch. And then just, so that it's lovely and tight and everything is where it should be. Now, on the back, I have worked this in as I went all around, so I can just cut that off. And I don't have to worry about it. Hey, 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 don't fall. Okay. Now we are changing to white. Taking our white, let me just get enough white here. And I always make a slip knot. And this, by the way, I learned from Mikey from the Crochet Crowd years ago. Before I started a YouTube channel, I saw him do this when he started something, a row or whatever, and I thought that was very neat. So I just did it and it became part of my crochet, how do you say, routine, the way that I crochet. So I'm going in and just making a single crochet in the corner, opposite corner to where I left off, and then just 1 and 2. That is my first double crochet. Yarn over. Now I'm going to make a corner, which means in a corner you need 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet, because this is what your corner looks like. So there we go. This will be my 2nd double crochet, my 3rd double crochet, chain 2, 1 and 2, and 3 double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3 double crochets. Come on, do not slip. 3 double crochets, there you go. And to get to the other corner, and I've worked in my straggler end as I went, and now I can fold it away. To get to this corner, I need to chain 1. Chain 1. Now I'm going to repeat another corner. 3 double crochet, and I'm going to go a bit faster now because you've done a few double crochets by now and you know what a double crochet looks like. there is 3 double crochets, 1, 2 chains, and 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. To me in this project it was very important to work in neat. 1 chain, there we go. And the same in the next corner, we've made 2 corners. Now it's always important to work neat, but I think it's because we're using the centers as one color and we're trying to create a little star. The look, that the way that we're doing it will look like the center is a little star. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets again. So to me it's important to get those first 2 rounds perfect, because it's not just how do I say, crochet. I'm creating a little look here. There we go. And then a chain 1. I've done a chain 1. Repeat the last corner, and it is, let me just get some more yarn here. And that would be 1, 2, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, and 3 double crochet. So I really took my time with the first 2 rounds on every square. Chain 1, and it's time to connect to the top of that. And if you don't know where that is, if that stitch, let me come closer, if that is the top of this double crochet, then the one next to it must be where my hook must go. Process of elimination. Now the way that I do it is I will slip stitch in the back of the next double crochet, in the top of the back, and just slip, and in the next one and just a slip stitch, and then into the corner and make a single crochet like this, and then chain 2, and that will be my first double crochet. So now I'm just going to do this one corner with you. It is another second double crochet, a third double crochet, 1, 2 chains, turn my work, and 1, come my darling, focus, there you go. I knew you could do it. This is not the morning for self-doubt. There you go. A beautiful corner, 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets. Now we're going to make 1 chain to hop to that 1 chain space. 1 chain, and in the 1 chain space you put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. If you're advanced, please fast forward over this section, because this is for people who are starting out and they want to know how, all those little things. Into the corner again, and now you know how we make a corner. 3 double crochets, 2 chains, 3 double crochets in the same place. 3 double crochets, 1, 2 chains, and turn the work, 3 double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so let me just do this, put it down, and let's see what we've made. It's just, there we go, lovely. So now you're going to continue with a chain 1, 3 double crochets in that 1 chain space, and a normal corner, which is 3 double crochet, 2 chains, 3 double crochet. Turn, 1 chain, 3 double crochets, 1 chain, and you're going to continue as we have, and then that will be the end of round 3. I'll meet you there. Here we are at the end of round 3. So I'm going to do exactly what I did at the end of round 2, like this. And I'm going to go into the back loop and just do a slip stitch, into the back loop and just do a slip stitch, and then into the corner and do a single crochet, like that. And then I'm going to repeat this, and this is what we're making. Let me show you. We are making this. Let me zoom out, 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 not in, out. There we go. This is what we're making. So the first round is that duck egg blue, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to our 9th round. And what we need is 6 in duck egg blue, 1, 2, 3, and 6 with a red center. Look at this, right? Like this one. They're all the same. They all have this center. Let me see if I can do that. See, this is what it looks like. Now, if you're anything like me, what I do is I create a production line. Anytime I have to do X amount of something, I create a production line. So, what I did here is also to make, I need another 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I need to finish that square that we're busy with to make it 6. And what does my production line look like? I'll show you. Put that aside for a moment. It looks like this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is the first round. Put on a knitting needle. And then I just do all the rounds, however many I need, because we're going to need more. But this is how I do it. So this is how I did my first, what you've just seen me do. I don't do the center and then do everything. I do the centers, however many I need, of whatever color. Then I go and I sit and I know I'm going to watch a movie, and I start with the white. I know I need a total of 9 rounds, but 8 in white, and I just go, 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 go. And that is beautifully mindless, no thinking required. There we go. So isn't this lovely? That's our production line. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is finish this. I'm going to continue with this square, and I'm going to finish it, and I'll meet you at the end of this. So here I am, and I'm just going to get to the top there again, like we did, and I'm going to connect with a slip stitch, and I'm going to walk to that corner on the back loop like we've been doing, just with a slip stitch in the back, and into the corner and a slip stitch. Now I'm just going to cut a lovely long straggler end and pull it through so that I'm in the corner. Because what we're going to do now is to work these squares. I'm going to use, I think is it whip stitch, just to sew them together. Let me just sew one, and then not one, start off. That's why I left a nice long tail so that I can use it to sew the ends in. Obviously not all the ends. So now I'm going to take a red, I call it a red square, but we know what I mean. It has a red center. So let's do this. A red and a blue center next to each other. And I'm going to sew that together in a whip stitch. Now the way I'm going to do it is, let me just show you, and then you need to go and do the rest, and then I'll show you what mine looks like. I'll lay it out on my bed and insert a photograph of what it looks like. Now this is white, so I am simply, let me just come closer. There we go. I'm on the corner there. As you can see there, I'm on the corner. So I'm simply going to go over to the next corner. But what I'm doing is, there I'm taking, you see in the corner, let me just get on camera, that would help. In the corner there are 2 chains. Now the one chain I count as on this side. The other chain I count as on this side. So that's why I like to have 2 chains in the corner, because it's an equal number and you have 2 sides. So when you want to sew it together or whatever, to me it makes it easier. So there we go. I'm going to take the second, that one, and I'm just going to go through and connect it like this. Now I like, let me see if I can come even closer. I like to, when I sew, just to see that everything matches up. So I have 3, a cluster there and a cluster here, and they need to match up. So I'm going to put my needle in the first and in the first, in the top of the first and the top of the first. Let me do this. My apologies. Let me just pull out this and thread it again, because this is what's going to happen. I'm just going to, let me just walk one down there. I need to walk down. I need to get away from that corner, because I want to get to, now I'm on the first stitch, and there's my first chain. Remember, there's 2 chains, so that's my first chain. So I'm just going to go through like that, and like that. Now here's my 3 double crochets, and there's my 3 double crochets. So I need to make sure that the top of the first and the top of the first is sewn together. They line up. That is what is important to me, like that. The second and the second, and I'm going through both loops. and I'm making sure that it's lined up. The third and the third. And that is what I'm going to do the entire thing. I like to lie it down so that it's flat, like that. Now, where there is a chain and a chain, I'm also going to go through and do exactly what I've been doing. Connecting the two chains. You can crochet this together. You can put these squares together any way that you like. This is the way that I prefer for this blanket, for this project. So go ahead and just connect. You can see what I'm doing here. There is a cluster, a grouping of 3 double crochets, grouping of 3 double crochets, and I'm seeing to it that everything stays aligned. So that when I'm done, can you see how that is going to be aligned? And that is what I want. I want whatever is there must be aligned to whatever is here. So let me do that, and then I'll come and show you the end result. Okay, so I've shown you a picture of this blanket, and now we need to take a corner, any corner, and we need to put the last row of white around for a while. I'm sure you're just as sick as I am of white at this point. I would dearly love to see another color on my hook, but only one more round of white, and that will be great. So we are going to now start at a corner, like I always do. Make a single crochet, like this, and 1, 2 chains, a corner. We're just going to work a corner, 1, 2. This is my second double crochet, my third double crochet, and let me just pull out some yarn here. And 1, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochets, 1 chain, and now work exactly like you would have as if this was the next round on the square up to the end of this square. So we've made this corner. We've started on the corner now. We've done what we've done every other corner. 1 chain, 3 double crochets, and I've made 1 chain. I'm going to continue. Just work every, like you've done the previous row, until we get here, and then I meet you there. So now we've reached this end. We've done this 1 square. We've started in the corner, and there we go. Just move this light slightly. There we go. And I love the way that this stitch look. You see how neat this is done? It gives structure to the blanket for sure. I like that. Okay, now this one, the next stitch is like this. You put 1, I've chained 1, you put 1 double crochet in on this side, right? And you finish it off. That's 1 double crochet. Then in the same spot, you do half a double crochet, not half a double crochet, you do a double crochet halfway. So you're not going to finish it off. You're now going to yarn over and hop over to the next corner. Bring yarn through, pull through 2. There's 3 on the loop, and pull through everything. And make another double crochet in the same corner. So what you've done is there's 1, 2, 3 stitches, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little posts. So that's how we're going to cover up this, not cover up, but I want one grouping there, not more than one. And that is what you're going to do every time you get to where 2 squares were joined. Every time you get to where 2 squares were joined, that's how you're going to do it. A double crochet worked halfway, a double crochet worked halfway, everything on the loop, pull through everything, and another one. And I'll get you with the second square and just do it once more with you, and then we take it from there. So here is another one, and I'm just going to make in this, we're going to work in these 2 gaps or chain spaces. So I'm making a 1 double crochet, then I'm making 1 double crochet halfway, pause, hop over to the next space, make a double crochet halfway, pause, yarn over, pull through everything on the loop, and yarn over and make a normal double crochet. That is what it should look like. It looks like 4, but if you count on the top, 1, 2, 3 stitches, which is what you want. 1, 2, 3, 1 chain, 1, 2, 3, and 1 chain, because we're setting up for a lovely border. So we want our math to be correct. Okay, sorry for knocking the camera. Go right around this blanket and I will see you at the start of the blanket again. Okay, and I'm on my last 3 double crochet grouping, chain 1, and I'm just going to connect like that to the top of that stitch. And now I am going to change color. So I do what I do always do is I do in the back top, the back slip stitch in the back loop of the top of that stitch, and I go into the corner and I make a slip stitch, and then I leave a little tail, only a little tail, like that. There we go. Now this is exactly, let's just have a look at what we've done. See how that looks? There we go. The reason why this last round is white is because I did not want my color to stand like that. A double crochet and a double crochet with like a split post and then a double crochet. I didn't want that. I want it in white, same as this, so that when you change over to color, you won't notice that. And that is the whole point. I don't want it to be noticeable. There we go again. When you're going to work in the next round, you're hardly going to notice that. That's the whole point. Otherwise, I think it looks, in my personal opinion, ugly. Now, so what we've created now is this round, the last round we've put on, turns this entire blanket into one big granny square. Now I want to work a lovely border around it, lovely wide border, and I want to work one round in this duck egg blue and one round in red. One round in duck egg blue, one round in red, no white. Thank you, I'm done with white now until we get to the outside of the border. Maybe I shouldn't call this the border. It is part of the blanket still. So, yes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now, you're going to do every time. This is where I stop with one color. I've ended off. Now pick another corner, and I'm just going to pick my previous corner, and I'm going to do it this way, like this. Let's just get to the beginning of this, and a slip knot on the hook like this. And you're going to do this every time. When you change over to red, you're going to do this. When you change over back to the duck egg blue, you're going to do this. Pick a corner, another corner, and just start with a single crochet like that. 2 chains, 1 and 2. That is my first double crochet, and I'm just going to work a lovely round of granny square stitches in this round. 2 chains after my 3 double crochet grouping. Come on, there you go. Don't go out of focus. Now you know how to do this exactly. And then I'm going to show you or meet you again once I've done all the rounds that I need to do in red, in blue, in red, in this looks like turquoise on the screen. It is absolutely not. It's like at least 3 shades lighter than it looks on the screen. Like this. And then there you go. So now just continue. 1 chain. There you go. This is going to look gorgeous. So just continue, and when you get to the end of this round, do what you've just done with the white in the back loop, slip stitches, and then into the corner, a slip stitch, and bind off. Pick another corner and start with your next round. And I'll see you after many rounds. Okay, so remember we had the white row that had that, and then I have now gone and made crocheted 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 rounds of color around our blanket. It is important that you do put this round of white in for the mathematical count of 3 groupings of double crochets that we have in the end. If you decide for some reason that you don't want to have another round of white, you want to start off with a color straight away, then just keep in mind that you do need 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 rounds. And my first round starts with a white round, and I explained because I don't want that splitting. I think it's more visible if this round was a color than if it's white. Anyway, so I've gone and added 8 rounds, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 rounds of color. Now we come to the fun part, and that is making those squares. We need 58 of these little squares with 3 rounds, right? 1 round in the center of a color, red or duck egg blue. Because what we are going to do now is this. Let me just see, the blanket just wants to keep on slipping off. Okay, now let's just anchor it like that. Here we are. This is our white round. Now there is 1 2 3 clusters, and I'm going to take those 1 2 3 clusters, and they must line up. So you can take a stitch marker and just connect them if you want. Come on, don't be difficult. Like that. I think it's because my stitch marker is small. And you can do this as you go around. You don't need to. But this is now just for my purposes of explaining what we're going to do next. That and that must line up. 1, 2, 3 clusters will line up. You can start with any color, blue or red. Then the opposite color follows right next to it, and there is the next 1, 2, 3 clusters. It must line up with those 3 clusters, which is why in my granny squares I put 2 chains in the corner. If I had 3 chains, to me it would be a problem, because you would think 1 chain extra here and 1 chain extra here is not a problem, but it is a problem if you have to start sewing this and this together, because you have an extra stitch there, an extra stitch here. Now, if you have 1 extra stitch, you can still get away with it. 2, maybe, but 17 on a side or more, you're definitely going to get a bit of a wobble. So there you go. So now this one, I'm going to show you exactly how I sewed this together, because I'm going to use the whip stitch in red, because that's the look I want for this blanket. You can do, of course, what you prefer, but this is my look for the blanket. So now, okay, so basically, please go and make 58 of these squares, and half should be in duck egg blue, or start with duck egg blue, 2 rounds of white, and the other half should start with red and followed by 2 rounds of white. Now I just want to point out something before you go off and do that. Every square, let me just get my square. Every square, when you end it, these squares, when you end it, I want you to end it like this. Now let me just move this up so there's some color behind our square. Say you've done a square now. 1 round of red, 2 rounds of white. Now you're going to connect, because there's your 3 and you're connecting. That's great. That's the end of your square. But please continue to work in the back loop of the next one, a slip stitch, and again a slip stitch, and into the corner a slip stitch, like that. Because we want the yarn to be there when we start sewing these sides together. Okay, so do yourself that favor and don't end there, just slip stitch to the corner. Okay, so that, and then my apologies for knocking this camera. Then leave a tail, 1, 2, about 3 times the length of your square. Cut it, and that's enough to sew in that side. I just want there to be enough, and like that. There we go. Beautiful. 58 of these squares, and then I'm going to show you how we sew them onto this blanket, and then we only have the final little border to do. This is how I did mine. So let me just show you. Let me see if I can zoom in. Okay. Remember I said you must work to the corner. So this is what I would do. So you have to chains in a corner, and there you have 2 chains. Now this comes out of that 1 chain, so I'm going to connect it to that 1 chain like that. That is exactly what I did. This is the right side up, both of them, and I would now just see to it that that is my first, the top of my first double crochet. That's the top of my opposite double crochet, like that. See, they are aligned. Now in white, I'm just working it like this. Remember, that's the slip stitch over it, which makes it look slightly chunky. So there we go. Just see that I'm on the camera. My apologies. There's your 1 chain, and I just carefully pick the V and carefully pick the V. No problem to do it. I must just take care that I do it. The next top of the first double crochet, top of the first double crochet, and like that. Second double crochet and second double crochet. Like that. Third double crochet, third double crochet. Just perfectly align it. That's all you want. The chain and a chain. First, second, third double crochet. Now, there's 2 chains, there is 2 chains. I take that 1 chain and I take 1 chain and I work it up like this. I just connect it like that. See? There we go. It's connected in white because this is our blanket and we will want to connect this to the blanket. But I found it easy to just first connect a strip of this. And now the way I work this in is I simply turn this around, and on the top there I just go in again and I start working in. Wait, don't, do not, like that. And I'm just going over it again, back the way I came. It just makes, I'm just making sure, you know, if anything comes out in the wash, it can be cut off because it's securely worked in. See, like that. That is how I would like to just work it in. And because I've got this, I mean, this is going to the bin, this piece of straggler end. So why not just work it down this way? You can do how you prefer. This is the way that I prefer. And just snip that off. Perfectly done. Now I am taking a piece of red. This is how I prefer to do it. Otherwise it seems like too big a job to do the entire 58. So I would do X amount of red and duck egg blue, red and duck egg blue, and then start sewing them onto this blanket. And this is how I want to do it. So I've already started on this side. Let me show you how I've started. There we go. I want this red look. You can do it in white. You can crochet it together if you want to. That's the look that you want. I wanted this look, where this red. Anyway, so now there. This is the only thing about sewing that I don't like, is that you can't take the thread as long as the entire side. I don't know. That's just how I was taught, that you stretch the whatever you're threading X amount of times, so you don't. So okay, now I'm taking a tail end, putting it at the back, and I'm going to, that is where my one end ended, what I've used now to sew together, and then this is my next end. I will make a knot here, but I first want to connect it. So this is where I stopped off. I need to just continue. So I'm picking up this the third of the 3 double crochet cluster or grouping. Now I am just going to do it slowly so we are on the same page. There's the third one. I want to make sure that's the third one. Into the third one, because I'm starting off now. And then there is my one chain. This obviously goes much faster on the lap, and I must see that I go into the one chain. Now, before I continue, turn this work, and these 2 ends that I've been holding, I'm going to knot them, and I will work them in afterwards. And the only time I really have a lot of ends to work in is on this last round, because our blanket so far has only been, you know, these big squares, are big squares, where you only have the beginning end of this round, this red round, you work in as you go, so you cut it off. You have one end of the red to work in, and then an end of the white when you start, and then only at the end of your square do you have one end. So not a lot of ends up to now. Yes, there will be a few ends every time you change color. So that there will be a few ends, but here really we are going to have ends. You can use the Pinky Magic method that you've seen in other videos of mine. Because I followed a production line method where I completed a lot of these and then a lot of these and then started with the rounds, I did not do Pinky Magic with that. To me it doesn't make sense to do it like that, or use it in this case. Okay, so here we go. This is important. Just want to show you this. I actually need to get to the end of the square. So this is my first and my first. And my first and my second. Now, what did I... Yeah, I thought something felt wrong, but I thought, no, it can't be wrong. It must be right. That's wrong. Let me just do it on camera. I'm not cutting this out of the video. What's wrong is wrong, and this is how I fix it. What is wrong is wrong, And this is how I fix it. There we go. Okay, so I don't really want to turn this because this, for you as the viewer, this makes sense the way I'm holding the squares. But when you put this on your lap, you hold it the way that it makes sense best for you to hold it. Like this. So now under my third double crochet. This is the thing when you start out. You've got this long thing to thread through. And then the white. Now, make sure there is a, now I must go under. There's a one chain. I go through the one chain because the amount of stitches here needs to line up, and if it doesn't, we have a problem, a big problem. There we go. Through the chain. There is your first double crochet, first double crochet, lined up. Second, hey, I nearly want to make the mistake, come from under. Second double crochet, second double crochet. I've already said on camera, off camera, I don't do it like this. I fold this to be on my lap so that I can go fast. But this is just to show you what I do now. So that's the third and the third matching up. Now, this is where you need to see what I've done and do it the same way. One chain, that's my one chain. I'm coming through the one chain. Now, that cluster, this cluster here and this cluster need to line up. So what do I have here? I go through my one chain there to let it line up. Now, wait. Supposed to go through. I'm supposed to go from the top down, not bottom up. Like this. I'm supposed to go top down. Okay. There, we've got it now. Come, come, come. Now, I go down again, a second time through my one chain. Okay. Now I'm going to take that one chain and I'm going to pull it towards this one chain, because both those one chains need to stay in that one place. So I'm going through my one chain. There we go. Now I am going to connect let me just turn it like this. Okay, so now what needs to line up is that cluster with that one with that one, that one with that one. So every time, there we go. First double crochet, first double crochet. Second with second. Third with third. One chain with one chain. first with first, second with second, third with third, chain with chain, okay, here we go again, first with first, second with second, third with third, now remember this has to line up like this, that has to line up with that, which means 1, 2, those 2 chains needs to be worked into this 1 chain. If you don't, the entire count is off, like that. Now again, go through that 1 chain and work it into the same 1 chain space. And here you start lining them up again. Those 3. And now you're just going to continue. Just remember, like there, you have 1, 2 chains that must be worked into 1 chain. Otherwise the count is off. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. There you see it. Every time where there is the squares connected, it will be the 2 spaces worked into 1. And then just correspond, correspond, correspond. 2 worked into 1. And then the 1, 2, 3 correspond. That is what needs to happen. Okay, so I'll meet you when I'm done with mine. So this is the end, what it looks like. Beautiful. Now we must just finish the border. Let's just finish that border quickly. So I'm going to grab some yarn and I'm going to start on a corner like this. I wonder why this red looks orange now. This shouldn't look orange. This is red. Did it look red? Did it look orange? Okay, so I'm just going to start like there. Make a slip knot with the white. Like this. Slip knot with the white. There we go. And right there, I'm going to do a single crochet and a single crochet in the next stitch and in the next stitch a single crochet. Now I hit the corner and there is 2 chains in the corner. I go into the corner, I make 1 single crochet, I make a second single crochet, and I'm going to make a third single crochet, but in the second single crochet In the top I'm going to make a little bauble. I'm going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, exactly like we did last week with those baubles. Yarn over, and in the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, I go in there and I make a double crochet halfway, once, double crochet halfway, twice, and a yarn over and a double crochet halfway, that's 3 times, and 4 times. I need to do 7, 5 times, 6 times, sorry for knocking the camera, last time is 7 times, and then yarn over and pull through everything and just wiggle wiggle, it folds over on itself. Then I just make in the bottom of that, in the bottom I go in there and I just make a slip stitch. There's my little bauble, and I continue making a single crochet, my 3rd single crochet for that corner, then a single crochet in every stitch like this, single crochet in every stitch, up to the end of this little 3 round square. Let me show you, just like this. Let me just get some more yarn. Single crochet, single crochet, single crochet. So there we have a bauble. We're just going to put single crochets on the top of every stitch as it presents, and here we have that corner and that corner, and I'm going to turn that into 1 stitch. So I'm going to start a single crochet, yarn, just a yarn over and pull the yarn through, and again in the next corner pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through everything. It's like a decrease, and on top of that decrease I'm going to make a little bauble right there where the 2 little squares meet. I'm going to make a bauble. 1, 2, 3, 4 chains like that, and 7 double crochets, but only make them halfway. In the 4th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4th chain from the hook. So there we go, and it's yarn over, and there we go. Once, do not complete the step, twice, and 3 times, and 4 times, and 5 times, and 6 times, and 7 times, and it's quite, it gets a bit much because there's so many stitches. 7 of those, yarn over, pull through everything, and you can see it closes on itself. Now I do not go back to the start like I did in the corner. I go to my next stitch and I make a single crochet. Go in a single crochet. Yes, a single crochet. There we go. Like that one, and a single crochet in the top of every stitch. But let me just show you, and this is what it looks like. There's the little bauble, and there's one. And now you will just continue with a single crochet in every stitch until it's time to make another bauble. See, and that's how you're going to make it. Okay, so continue like that right around, and I will meet you at the beginning. So I'm on the last one here. So this is that corner and that corner. I'm just going to go grab some yarn, yarn over, pull through everything like we've been doing where the two squares meet, and then quickly make a bobble. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, and in the first one, like that, 7 double crochets halfway. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It becomes a problem the more they become. 5 and 6 and 7, and you can see the little bobble curling in on itself already. And yarn over and pull through everything, pull tight, and you can see how it closes as a little bobble. And then I'm just going to go to the first stitch and do a single crochet like this, and now the little bobble can stand up if it wants to, and single crochet in every stitch like that. And then I need to work in the ends on this blanket, and then I'm going to get you here again. That one is there, so I'm just going to connect, go through, yarn over, pull through, there we go, and like that to work in. If I work it in, you won't even see it, but there you go, there's all the bobbles, and they look beautiful. Let me see if I can move out a little bit. Yes, so I think it came out beautifully like this, and then there is the end of our border. And I did it in white, and of course you could have chosen the duck egg blue to do the corner, the border, or you could have done it, I did it in white, or you could have chosen the red, but I just preferred it to be white so that these little squares actually form my border. Okay, so let me just work in the end, then I see you again. So here it is, finally everything is done, and you can see the border. I love how this came out. To me it is just absolutely gorgeous. So I've worked in all my ends. This is the wrong side, and that's the right side again. I love how it came out. These tiny little blocks, squares, just to me just scream baby. Anyway, If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much for watching and taking the time to watch. And yes, I hope I see you in my next tutorial or on my Monday or Friday lives. Thank you. Bye.